Portions of our programming have been pre-recorded. The Good Neighbor Network, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna. Flagship station for MTSU Sports. The views and opinions on this show are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of WGNS, its management, other hosts, or advertisers.
Well, good evening, everyone. You got me on? Okay. We've got the volume down here. Ed Raymer with the Evanly Raymer Show. I want to tell you about something. Having you this beautiful, that's a Tennessee waltz. And a shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Tanner Raymer. And I was at their wedding yesterday, and yes, I was at a wedding last weekend as well. But this was for my nephew and my new niece, Victoria. We call her Tori. And congratulations to them. They're going to take a few days off. Had a great time. Beautiful, beautiful wedding, beautiful service, and had a great time. And we wish them the very best. Good to see all the family. We were all there together. And wish them nothing but the best. Lord, I'll tell you, it didn't take long. I told Tanner's grandfather, I said, that didn't take long from the time he was born to now we're at a wedding, did it? And he said, no, it didn't. That didn't take long. So, folks, if you got those youngsters, enjoy it while you can. And congratulations to them. Wish you the very best. Tanner, Victoria, congratulations to them. Matt Fee.
Hey.
Your Rutherford County Democrat Party chair is here with me tonight trying to help me find my car keys.
Yeah. No telling, Ed.
I'm telling you right now, I don't know where they are.
Guarantee they'll be in the last place you look.
I know, but I couldn't have left them very far because the only place I've been is upstairs here, so they got to be somewhere on the ground or wherever, but we'll find them. Anyway.
We'll tear this place apart.
Yeah, sure. Well, that would probably be a help to the city of Murfreesboro, tear the place apart. Yeah, I'm telling you.
It's a cost savings to the taxpayers.
Oh my goodness, what's going on, Matt? Anything good?
I mean, we had a pretty good election night this past week, didn't we?
Good week for the Democrats finally for a change.
Yeah.
And it looks as though Virginia is finally back. It looks like blue for sure for a while. Of course, you can never. Everything changes. The pendulum's always swinging.
I mean, I think I was telling you earlier, right? Virginia's probably more or less been blue for a little while. But like in 2016 and 2024 both, that was kind of the state that I watched. And when it was real close, I kind of said, oh, no, this is not good. Right. And they still hadn't called anything in either of those races for a while. And then both of those elections didn't turn out so well for us. But,
right. Sure.
Seems like Virginia has kind of been my bellwether the last few major elections for myself. But yeah, I mean, there was, big wins all across the country, really. Right. We had Zoran Mamdani won the election as New York City mayor.
Yes.
I'm super excited about that. He's a very, bright. He's just a great leader that I think we need to see more of, nationally. We also had, we had Virginia governor, New Jersey governor. What was that? Proposition 50 in California.
Proposition 50. Right.
So, that proposition was so that they could redraw the congressional districts in California. And that is, that's pretty much in response to what happened in Texas, what has happened in North Carolina. I think it's happened in Missouri and Indiana. You have all of these supermajority Republican states mid-decade, redrawing their congressional districts. So that way, did you just find your keys?
Never mind. I'm over. Please carry on. Just do the
I'm
best.
sorry. I got so distracted by the sound of keys jangling next to me after all of the last 10 minutes before the show started.
You can with the old man, fellas. Thanks for having me around. God, man, please proceed.
Okay. Anyways, but we have all of these supermajority Republican states that have been mid-decade redrawing their congressional districts and so that way they can get
and
more
totally
Republicans
uncalled for,
completely unnecessary,
and not that they're not cut up enough as it is.
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised Tennessee hasn't done it yet, but that's because we have Memphis over there on the west side of the state.
Exactly.
There's a Supreme Court case that I think is pending that may change that. We'll see how that goes. Mm-hmm. I think there's some other things that kind of went maybe under the radar. I think a big one to me that I saw was in the state of Mississippi. Mm-hmm. The Democrats broke the supermajority in their state Senate.
Right.
Those are the,
these are big things.
These are big things. And I know, nationally that probably doesn't get a whole lot of attention. But, these are the kind of things that, us here in Tennessee need to look at and say, why can't that be us?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I don't have any, 2026 comes around, the Tennessee Democrats aren't going to flip the House or the Senate in this state.
Sure.
But maybe there's a path we break a supermajority somewhere.
Sure.
Right. And that would be, that's a good start.
Sure.
It's the same thing with the county commission here in Rutherford County. There's 21 commissioners on that
and only
commission.
two
There's
are
two Democrats and
two
a couple
Democrats,
of
one
independents.
independent. Yeah.
So I think there's like 3 independents. I can't remember for sure, but basically that's 16 Republicans on there.
Right.
And that is a big supermajority, right?
Sure.
To break any kind of supermajority at the county commission, we would need.
But
at least 8.
they basically do what they want to do.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's what's going on right now.
But that's right now. And as I've always said since I first got here and we got on these subjects, the subject of politics, which is a very broad subject, the pendulum is always swinging. And already in Virginia, even though it looks good for the Democrats there, that pendulum will start swinging back very quickly. And you have to work to keep the trust of the voter. And right now, the voters don't have much trust, I don't think, in anyone.
Yeah, well,
and rightfully so.
I think what we're going to find out as we go through the next year is that, look, whether you're a Republican on county commission, city council, or whatever it is, right? you are a part of all of this that's going on, right? That's
Right.
your president that's doing all of this, right? That's your president. It's almost like, what we've seen in the election this past week is that, you know what? We don't like tariffs that are raising the costs of goods on every person in this country, right? We don't like seeing people, lose their health insurance. We don't like seeing people unable to, even the ones that didn't lose it, can't afford, the policies that are there for them. That's what this government shutdown's all about right now.
Right.
That's exactly what it's all about, is because, we don't want to see people have to make that choice between buying their groceries or paying for their health insurance. The government should be able to efficiently, make that for people so that they can do both.
Right.
Right. And, so, even the health insurance, we don't want to see, our neighbors abducted off of the street. Right. We don't want to see those things either. It's almost like the American people on this past Tuesday said, these policies that the current president is, enforcing on us right now, I don't think we like this too much.
Not much.
Not much.
No, not much.
So, I feel like it was a pretty big rebuke in that way. And then too, especially with like Zohran Mamdani in New York City, cost of living is a huge problem all across the country right now.
Oh, goodness gracious. And especially New York City.
Yeah, in New York City, hell, in Rutherford County, things aren't
right.
affordable.
Yep.
We have a big problem with housing affordability, right? The median income in Rutherford County is not enough to afford the median priced home
Right.
that's here. So, it really makes it difficult for people who work here in Rutherford County to live here in Rutherford County. And this has been
Right.
a growing
Right.
problem for at least the last 5 years.
Well, and it gets its start probably about 8 or 10 years ago, because we've been talking about it. There are law enforcement, there's boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, with the county, or even maybe with the city, that are living outside of this county because they can't afford to buy a home here.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
They just can't.
yeah. And, something that I talk about a lot, and that I talk a lot of times to people about, and you may have heard me say this before, and people are going to get tired of hearing me say this, right? But
It's all right.
there's local government can't fix all of those problems,
Right.
right? There's just things that are just out of local government's control, but there are things that, we could do locally that sure as heck could help out a lot.
It sure could.
They sure
Right.
could, and whether it's just, small, I always say maybe it's a small thing, but I don't really think it's a small thing. I think this would be, a big help to a lot of people, is just providing free school meals. It's such a simple thing.
You're speaking my language, yeah.
It's such a simple thing that can be
Right.
done. And, it benefits everybody. And there's so many studies that have been done that show that, like, students perform better under these circumstances.
Better nutrition.
Better nutrition, better
Right.
everything. That's another one of these elections. If I was actually trying to look it up just a second ago, but if I remember correctly, in the state of Colorado, they voted to do this on last Tuesday. They had
Okay.
an item on their ballot. And
I
they
did
voted
not.
to do this.
I don't think I heard about that. No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
So I think
That's a big deal to me.
it is a big deal. It is a big deal. So I mean, think about it like this, right? I did the math a while back.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
And one kid, school lunch, it's like $600 for the entire school year.
Sure.
It's like school lasts for, 10 months out of the year. There's time off. $600 isn't really a whole lot, but, right?
Sure.
For a lot of people, in Rutherford County, I've seen the study that's done by, I think is it the United Way? United for Alice. Alice is an acronym. It stands for Asset Limited Income Constrained Employed.
Okay.
In Rutherford County.
That's the first I've heard of that.
Okay.
Thank you. That's a new one on me.
So
Okay.
what that means is that this is a block of people who are above poverty, but don't really make enough to live in the area in Rutherford County. Okay, this is like what you might call your paycheck to paycheck.
Borderline.
Very borderline.
Very borderline.
They're they're one paycheck away from missing one paycheck away from catastrophe.
Right.
And in Rutherford County, 43% of households are considered ALICE households. 43%. That's a lot.
That's a bunch.
Right?
That's a bunch. Yes.
It's almost half in a county with 120 some odd thousand households. That's right. A lot of places. And so when you think about things like that are a small dollar value that could provide a big benefit to people that are in this place where they're living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
For a lot of people who would also get that benefit, it might not. It'd just be like, oh, okay, cool, free lunch, nice. But for others, I think it would be a really big deal to not have to shoulder that burden, because even when it comes to like the free school lunches and everything, to me it feels like there are barriers to people participating in that program right now. So instead of trying to require someone to get over those barriers and make sure that they apply for it and follow up and do all of that stuff to get it done, right? Just make it a free program for everybody.
Sure.
Right. Then no one has to worry about getting over those hurdles.
Yeah, who's rich, who's poor, and all this good stuff. And that's what I was getting at. That's the main thing. And I had a good friend through Facebook. And you can, ironically, you can have some decent discussions on Facebook with people that are reasonable people.
I'll take your word for it.
Well, you're Democrat Party chair. Nobody's going to get along with you. But no, you can. And a man wrote back and he said, I want to see free lunch, a free breakfast, free lunch, and a free snack in the afternoon for these kids.
Sure.
And he said he did the math, and I didn't check the figures, but it sounds reasonable. It would cost the county $11 million. Now, here's what I said. Okay, yeah, I mean, another $100 a month on my $100 a year on my property tax. That's
not even that.
It won't even be that. It wouldn't be $10. But let's say, here's the thing, Matt. We're already probably paying half of that. If you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the total expense, if $11 million is the total expense, yeah. And actually, that brings up a good point, because the school system already gets money from the USDA for the school lunch program, anyways.
Well, they should.
So to provide and make this a free program for everyone, the county would need to supplement those funds. And actually, I think, and I could be misquoting someone's, but I remember from a budget meeting earlier this year, like back in May of this year, that question got asked, and I believe the price tag the school system said was about $6 million. So your ballpark might be about right if we already have half the money anyways.
Yeah. Right.
The additional expense to the county would be about $6 million, and that's
what I said.
Yeah, that's like
be about $6 million.
That's like an extra 3 cents on your property tax rate.
Right.
But here's the thing too, though, right? When it comes to Rutherford County, I mean, we have just money sitting everywhere.
Sure.
I don't understand.
That's all we hear about is the surplus.
Oh, they don't talk about it. No, you don't hear about it because they never talk about it.
Well, I'm talking about at state level even.
Oh, yeah, at the state level. But hell, at the county level, we have a pretty big surplus,
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Please.
No, it's okay. As a matter of fact, I feel like the surplus has probably grown so large that, Mayor Joe Carr just stopped publishing it. It used to be available on a report they had on their share drive, but it's not there anymore. I've asked for it, but I still don't know what it is. Right. I assume that their unassigned fund balance, their reserves, is probably somewhere around $140 million right now.
Sure.
And, all that has done since that property tax increase in, what was that, 2023, I guess that was? I think it was 2023.
Yeah.
I mean, all that has happened is that the reserves have grown astronomically, and so much so that they started paying cash for stuff. So, I mean, I'm not one. Look, I think it's good, but it's also not very well managed, because you never hear of any plan from anyone in county government about what they're going to do with those surpluses. Right? There's never any kind of plan. The plan is always just to make more surpluses. Okay, great. Well, I don't like paying taxes so it can sit in a bank somewhere in New York City and get loaned out to some big corporation to do something with, right?
Agreed.
That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to see my tax dollars get reinvested back into the community. And if that means one of those options is to give kids free lunches and breakfast,
right,
I'd much rather see that be the case than what's happening today.
I'm with you. Now, I'll tell you what, we're going to go to our first break. I didn't bring us on the air with any big hoopla. This is Edwin Lee Raymer Show. I'm your host, Ed Raymer. We're on 1450 AM, 100.5, 101.9 FM. And you can reach us at 615-893-1450. 615-893-1450. Matt Fee is our guest. He's your Rutherford County Democrat Party chairman. And we're always glad to have him here. And you can catch us on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, all that good stuff. I got in here tonight and was even invited to say a few words on Angela Bingham's show. And she wasn't available tonight, and hopefully she'll be back next week. And listen to her show on every Sunday at 6, Simplicity. Wonderful. Her and Angie Marie and Taylor are doing a great job. And just a wonderful show, good faith-based show every Sunday at 6. And I listen to Jason Qualls every chance I get through the week. He's on around 4 o'clock, 4:30. And then, of course, with sports, Brian is all over the place right now. We're getting into the Connor, are you here? Are you working the football games? Some of them on Friday night? I don't know. No. You're not? Okay. I didn't know if they drug you into that yet or not. So high school football is running its gamut right now, and we're going to go to our first series of breaks. But before we do, I want to tell you about a great sponsor of mine, Jay Mullins. Now, Jay Mullins, and you'll hear in the ad there at West Northfield, they are moving, and they are always closed on Monday. And hopefully, I talked to Tim, they're going to be opening back up at their new location Tuesday. Hopefully. He wasn't sure. Don't hold him to that. But they'll be open at 9 o'clock Tuesday morning at 1640 Memorial Boulevard here in Murfreesboro. They're just right catty-cornered across the way. That's in where the McAllister's is, off of Memorial there in that shopping center. 1640 Memorial Boulevard, right here in Murfreesboro. Like I said, it's in the McAllisters where the old Hastings used to be, and they've got the climbing gear in there now, whatever that is.
Miss Hastings.
Miss Hastings? I do too. I used to love to go in there. What are you talking about?
The rock climbing is.
Yeah, there's
rock climbing. Yeah, nothing I'd rather do than go out in the afternoon and climb a rock. And I'm sorry, Matt. I guess Matt likes that, but
rock climbing. No, look,
no,
that's the last thing I'm capable
sorry,
of
they
doing
never
right
found
now.
a rope sturdy enough to hold me. But
yeah, me either.
But Tim has moved. They moved the store, and the reason they did it is the area they were in. There was 2 or 3 different areas. The Dollar General and everything was taken over by another business, and so they worked with them, and they're going to move just catty-cornered up toward this way just a little bit at 1640 Memorial. And again, Connor, if you'll run their ads, please, I'd appreciate it. We're going to take a break, and Matt Fee and I will be right back with you right after this. Stay with us. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. If you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219, or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Get the jump on jump scares. This is Soundbites, and I'm Alan Davidson. Ever get spooked by movies? Horror films can be a real thrill, but some folks just hate jump scares. And if that's you, there's help. Meet notscare.me, a project that's totally community-powered. Look up your scary movie title and see when each scare is coming. It's a full jump scare timeline with details on intensity and type. It's easy, fast, and free. And you control your viewing experience. Watch with friends without the stress. So give your nerves a break this time. Find out exactly what's ahead without any spoilers. Check the moments that may make you jump. Choose what makes you comfortable. Either way, you'll be in the know. With Soundbites, I'm Alan Davidson for CBS News.
I'm Larry Magid with the Connect Safely report. Many people don't even know what they're sharing on social media or who they're sharing it with. So before you make your next post, find out who your audience is. Are you just sharing privately to friends, or are you sharing to everyone? Almost every social media platform, including Facebook, has a way to control that. Also check location sharing. Some apps can share your location. In most cases, you had to have opted in, but there's no harm in making sure that feature is turned off. Other things to check for are app permissions, such as access to your microphone, camera, photos, and contacts. There are many more settings that you can check. Connect Safely has parent guides for all of the major apps, but the information is also applicable for adult users. More at connectsafely.org/radio. With the Connect Safely report, I'm Larry Magid for CBS News.
All right, we are back, Mr. Matt Fee, your chairman. Hello, Hope Oliver. I hear you're eavesdropping on us. Yeah, I hear. Yeah.
She texted me a little while ago.
I don't care.
So I told Ed. Sorry, Hope.
Yeah. You don't tell Ed anything. Ed knows all. Ed knows all.
No secrets with Ed Raymer, apparently, right?
Sure, yeah. Big private investigator here.
Yeah, I know. But hey, you know what? We were talking about free school lunch and breakfast, like how that's just one simple thing that can be done that can alleviate, some of the issues that people have with just, making ends meet here in Rutherford County. I feel like there's at least a couple of other things that, should be considered as well. The Rutherford County school system does right now have like a voluntary pre-K. My son, he was lucky enough to go through that voluntary pre-K when he was that age. He's at MTSU now, so that was a long time ago. So the program's been around for a little while. But, I've been at school board meetings where they contemplate cutting that program because it costs money. And, this is another one of these areas where it's like you're thinking the wrong way, right? All they think about is how much tax dollars they spend, but they don't pay attention to the benefit that those things provide, right? The benefit that provides is far greater than, whatever the small cost that it is to have these types of programs because number one, it may allow someone who maybe is a stay-at-home parent to then actually participate in the workforce, right?
Sure.
That's actually a benefit to the whole community overall. So, we shouldn't be thinking this way about these types of things. Expansion of the pre-K program here in Rutherford County, even by just a little bit, could be a huge benefit to people here in Rutherford County, because childcare is so stupid expensive.
It's really expensive, and you're talking about men and women that could go out here and even working a part-time job, if they picked up a part-time paycheck.
Yeah.
Okay? There's tax dollars that come out of that.
Yeah.
And we all are concentrating on the big picture, the big hit, and all that. Franklin Delano Roosevelt he rescued this nation
right
in the 20s and 30s by mom and pop and federal tax dollars. That's how this nation, it wasn't rescued by a guy like trillionaire Elon Musk. Believe me, he's not worried about rescuing anybody but himself. I don't even know if the man's an American citizen or not. But, and I'll leave that where it is. But you know what I'm saying? It's not the big picture. We're talking about millions of people that can do the same thing, and that money filters into your local community.
Yeah. I mean,
it does.
Just a small expansion of a pre-K program.
A small expansion
could do wonders here. Other things too, right? Like I said, local government can't fix everything, but it sure could help out a lot more. Our first responders in Rutherford County, sheriff's deputies, EMS. I've seen the presentations the last few years at the county commission. They're some of the lowest paid in the region.
I know.
Okay?
Yeah, I know.
So think about that, right? We're sitting here and we're talking about how, 43% of households in Rutherford County are, in that ALICE categorization, right? Asset limited, income constrained, and employed, right? Does that mean our first responders are also in this bucket? If our first responders here in Rutherford County are some of the lowest paid in the region, why would they want to work and or live in Rutherford County? That doesn't make any sense. That math ain't mathing. And it's the same thing with teachers, right? Teachers. There's a requirement in the state of Tennessee that all school districts will have a starting salary for new teachers to start at $50,000 a year. And I think that goes into effect from next year. I've heard our school system say that they will meet that $50,000 next year. Great. Why are we only trying to do the minimum, right?
Sure.
That doesn't make sense. When it comes to our teachers and our first responders, we need to be at the leading edge of these rates in the region, not just, doing the bare minimum. Because, a $50,000 salary in Rutherford County is not going to go as far as a $50,000 salary in Bedford County. I'm sorry, it's just not. Right.
Sure.
So,
it's not going to happen.
If we're competing and our cost of living is 10 to 12% higher than all of the surrounding counties, why would anyone want to start their career as a teacher here in Rutherford County? That doesn't make sense. That math doesn't math. So I mean, these are things that I don't feel like get enough discussion at local government, right? It's if housing is unaffordable for most workers in Rutherford County, then, we should be doing things that, I can't, local government can't fix the price of housing here. That's just not a thing that can happen. As much as everyone wish they could, that's just not a thing. The market is going to set the rate of any home.
Of course.
So, you have to pull different levers to, try and alleviate those things, right? I can lower your costs here. I can, try to get increased revenue for people here. And then, maybe at some point, in the future, we can start looking at grants for, for housing and things like that. But I feel like that's probably something that's way on down the line, or, maybe just something I don't know enough about at this point. But,
maybe.
It's got to be more about thinking about what are we doing to make things easier for people to live here in Rutherford County and work here in Rutherford County, not what's best for some developer or some other
exactly.
whatever.
What's best for the citizens.
I don't want I don't want tax breaks going to corporations that are coming here to set up new jobs so that way they can pay wages that people can't live on here in Rutherford County.
Sure.
What's the point? Right? It's pointless. Those tax dollars could have been spent better by helping the citizens In some other things too, right? I feel like, we're in this government shutdown, and, just thinking about more how, government here in Tennessee just isn't really doing well by the people who live here in Tennessee, right? I've seen Governor Bill Lee, on ads telling people in businesses in New York, hey, come on, move to Tennessee, blah, blah,
sure.
blah. Tennessee's
we're a
open for business.
A right to work state.
Well, here's the thing, right? They're all about this bottom line mumbo jumbo, right? Because I guess profits are more important than anything else. And, they like to tout that Tennessee is number one for business. Well, whoopity-doo. I don't care what's best for business. I care what's best for people. And those exact same opposite surveys about, quality of life. Tennessee is dead last in quality of life. Seriously. Right?
That's right.
You were shocked one time when I came here a couple of months ago. I told you since, I don't remember what year, but the average life expectancy in Tennessee has dropped.
Right.
It's gone
Yeah, I
down.
remember when you told me that. Unbelievable.
Like this is unbelievable. This is what leadership here in Tennessee has done to the people here in Tennessee.
Well, that's what I hear about when I hear these
your
Republicans.
Quality of life is terrible.
Yeah.
But hey, businesses are making money. Well, good for them.
Yeah, I'm talking about our conservative values.
Yeah, conservative
I don't
values.
have any value. Those people don't have any value. All they value, they have,
Yeah.
They have certain interests that they want. They don't have any values.
Yeah.
Conservative values. Don't give me that stuff. They have priorities.
I'm tired of hearing about it, honestly.
Yeah.
I
They
am
have
so sick and
priorities.
tired of hearing
What
about
they
it.
have.
Because here's what we have going on right now in this country. We have SNAP benefits lapsed for millions of people here in the U.S. And I get so tired of hearing people say like, oh, they're just living off the government, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Most of the people that are receiving those benefits are children who aren't old enough to work.
That's exactly right.
Or, they're working people who probably work for Walmart. You guys know we subsidize Walmart because they have so many employees who get SNAP benefits.
I put a post on Facebook this week. Yeah.
And then we also have, older people who are maybe disabled that need those benefits. So, okay, great. Maybe there's fraud out there. I don't know. That could be figured out at a different time. But here's the thing, right? Right here in Rutherford County, 22,000 individuals have not received their SNAP benefits. Okay?
22,000.
22,000.
Okay.
Governor Bill Lee is doing literally nothing about it.
Right.
I went to the steering committee, this past Monday, and Rutherford County pays a lobbyist. Did you know that? Did you know Rutherford County pays a lobbyist to go and lobby for things for Rutherford County? All right, cool.
Sure.
I went there. I gave a public comment. I said, look, this committee should instruct Mr. Denami to go and lobby at the Capitol and request Governor Lee call a special session so that, this crisis with the lapse in SNAP benefits can be addressed. He has the power to do that.
Sure he does.
Right?
Go lobby that.
The state of Tennessee could do something about this, but they're choosing not to do anything.
Sure.
And, of course, I went. They didn't even talk about it. Nothing. Which, honestly, no surprise.
No surprise. Sure.
Like they're going to listen to the chair of the Democratic Party there. But to me, it just shows the lack of true compassion that is out there, right? We have the state of Tennessee actively not doing anything when they have $2 billion in their in their reserves.
Their coffers.
Just sitting there, not doing anything. Right. And now, I see today that, the Trump administration is literally threatening states that did fund their SNAP recipients this month, telling them to take the money back. Like they'll be punished if they don't do it.
They'll be punished. I saw that. Yeah.
I just don't understand. And, this.
Well, here's that list of people. This was sent to me by a friend of mine, and employers with the largest estimated number of SNAP recipients. This is in Arkansas, which I'm sure we're right there neck and neck. We're all fine. For
Yeah,
the
there's
same thing.
roughly about 700,000 in the state of Tennessee.
1,318. Walmart leads the way. McDonald's, Dollar General, Sonic, Tyson Foods, Palco, whoever that. Now I'm not familiar with Palco, but Dollar Tree, Burger King, Staff Mart, Taco Bell,
Right.
Kroger.
This is
Kroger used to
surprisingly-
be. Let me tell you something. In the '70s, Kroger was a job to have because they were union.
Yeah.
Now, you don't remember that. That was before your time. Let me
I
tell you
believe they're
something.
still union.
When you were a butcher at Kroger, you had a good livelihood ahead of you.
Yeah.
If you showed up for work and did your job.
Hey, my first job was at
Subway,
Kroger.
Wendy's. Yeah, I'm telling you.
here's the thing, too,
it's
right?
ridiculous.
Here's the thing too, Ed. I think I'm pretty familiar with that survey that you're talking about right there. That was only
Right.
conducted in like 14 states, right? So it's a
Yeah.
gross underrepresentation of what
Sure.
the truth probably is.
Sure, I don't doubt that at all, my friend. Yeah, there's so much, and again, now we're right back to square one. Free lunch. We're
Yeah.
talking about just something that could be done here locally that can help a lot of struggling families, a lot
Yeah.
of families that are on that edge.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I can
thank
remember.
goodness, we never had to do it. We never had the need for it. But hey, I'm telling you, you
Yeah,
know,
I mean, I can tell you right now, I can remember being a young parent, a long time ago when our son was little. And, we struggled a lot because, between daycare and everything else,
Ho-ho.
right? And then when you got to school, even things were still tight back then, it's always the thing about, well, can we put money on his lunch account this time,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And just take that burden away from people. It's such a small thing, and
Right.
I think it would really help out a lot of people.
It's another worry that you can get out of the hair of a lot of parents
Yeah,
that say, your child's going to be taken care of
yeah, exactly,
and not fed a bunch of junk either.
exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about good nutrition because the numbers show it, and these politicians just refuse simply to look at most politicians. We have a few that will look at the numbers, and they show that a well-fed, well-nourished child will do better in school.
Yeah.
Of course, I will say this, an educated nation and a healthy nation is harder to govern, Matt. So if we keep them mad, sad, and not glad, they'll be easier for you to handle, I guess, this Democrat Party. So
Yeah, maybe
I'm
so.
trying to do my part.
Maybe so.
I'm telling you, What else is going on? You got some library. We're going to have some library problems, no doubt. I have
Oh, my
speaking of a
gosh.
mutual friend of ours.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'd know him, but never mind.
Well, so yeah, we've got this is public libraries now
Right.
that have come up this time. So I'm just going to give you my perspective on this. Okay. So
Okay.
I may or may not be correct. So this is just my perspective. So, we'll go with it that way. But what has happened is the Secretary of State in the state of Tennessee has sent, I don't know if you want to call it a letter or a memorandum to all of the libraries in the state of Tennessee, public libraries, basically saying that they need to comply with state law and the executive order of Donald Trump about, trans ideology or whatever. Okay.
Sure.
So because I suppose that the leadership in our public libraries here in Rutherford County don't understand that an executive order is not a law.
It's not. No,
It's not a law. That they've decided to close the library so that they can review all of the materials in the library. It's I'm going to go from memory here, but I believe it's starting at the Smyrna Library next week from Monday, from
I
tomorrow.
think it is.
So all of next week, the Smyrna Public Library will be closed so that staff at that library can review the materials. And then it will move over to Linebaugh the week after. This, to me, is just unbelievable, honestly. Any books that are identified, my understanding is that then they would need to be reviewed by the library board. Their next meeting is on December 1st, and it's at the city council chambers over here on the plaza. And I think it starts at 5 p.m. So RCLA, definitely show up to that meeting, sign up for public comment if you can. But here we go again, just with ridiculous nonsense. And, this is... We've also seen reports of some books that were reviewed in the past and kept in the library that are no longer available. I believe the book that I saw on something I saw was a book called Forever by Judy Blume that was reviewed by the Rutherford County Library Board earlier this year, and it very narrowly passed and remained on the shelf exactly where it was. They didn't
What was it about?
I honestly don't know much about that book myself.
Okay.
So I'd rather, I don't want to speculate.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a Judy Blume book. So, now, if you go and check Rutherford County Library System, that book is no longer available. There's never been a vote. There's never been anything that happened. This book just mysteriously disappeared. And, the chairman of that library board now, Cody York, who also is an employee of the county, he's made it pretty clear through various meetings over the last couple of years that he's out to ban any book that doesn't meet with his personal biblical worldview. And,
his biblical worldview?
Biblical worldview, yeah. I may have added that part, but that's basically
I don't
what
doubt
it is.
Yeah.
But this is just more of the same that we have seen time and time again here in Rutherford County. Whether it's the school board doing nonsense to ban a bunch of books, or approve a anti-diversity resolution, or pass a resolution about the border, or other kind of crazy, the Murfreesboro City Council having a decency ordinance that they got sued over, the library board banning books.
Sure.
This is just more of the same that we've been seeing for the last couple of years.
And Matt, what that translates into is wasted time.
It's a lot of wasted time.
And we don't have time to be wasted here in Rutherford County.
There's so much wasted time.
We are one of the fastest growing counties in the nation.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
We don't have
how
time
much,
for this.
It is, to me, it is absurdly ridiculous how much time we waste on these things like this. That, I mean, there's no reason to take books out of the libraries, right? Today, Tiffany and I, we went to see Beauty and the Beast, right?
Ooh,
so
that's
hang
a
on,
bad
hang
one.
on.
That's a bad one.
And I remembered why I wanted this quote now.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, sure.
So, in it, the main character, Belle, right? She likes to read books, right?
Right.
And then you have the other guy, Gaston, right? The big manly man, right?
Right, yeah.
And, he wonders why she reads books so much. And, he said Gaston says it's not natural to read so much. Soon you'll start thinking and getting ideas, right? Isn't that the idea? So I think that's why they want to take these books away from everybody, is so that, like you said, right, keep us, keep people dumb, and then maybe they won't ask questions.
I have said it 100,000 times. Take the Bible. You're going to take the Bible off. There's some pretty sordid stories in that book.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm tired of that argument, right? If it's it's an important book and it should be there, right?
Sure.
I'm never going to tell anyone that a book should be taken out. And I don't like that argument about, they should take out the Bible. No, no, they shouldn't take out any books.
No, I'm not saying they should. What I'm saying is, why is it not up for comment? I mean, no one wants to talk about that.
Get it, right? It's like eye for an eye type stuff, right?
Sure.
If you're going to take this, you should take that. But like you were talking about, though, Ed, it's just the tremendous waste of time that we do here in Rutherford County. And it's not just books. It's not just stupid resolutions at the school board. It's not just the dumb stuff that might happen at city council, right? We waste so much time on piddly stuff that we should be doing the work of the people that needs help here in Rutherford County, right? I look at the situation with the property assessor's office, right? To me, this is just more of another big waste of time. Right. I don't care how this started. It seemed to have started from a quarrel between the county mayor and Rob Mitchell.
Right.
Right. I don't care. Right. To me, if if the property assessor and the mayor are spending all of this time arguing with each other, or getting the state comptroller to come down here,
Right.
or, Rob Mitchell's, trying to create rebuttals about everything under the sun, to me, you are wasting time. You are not doing anything that is benefiting anyone here in Rutherford County. If the assessments are wrong, look, I don't know enough to have an opinion about whether what the comptroller said is true or not true. And, if it's true, then it's got to be fixed. But stop arguing with everybody else about it. Just do it, to me, is the thing. And it's like I said, it's just the waste of time that we spend on so many things that, instead of doing real work for the people of Rutherford County so that they can, survive here in Rutherford County.
Sure. And I will assure you that, thank you, Rob. Appreciate it. Rob is listening, by the way. I will assure you that assessment by the comptroller, he's off on many of his remarks. Let me just put it that way. And I've gone over these. That's a fact. But you're right. They're wasting a bunch of time.
Yeah.
Time that this county needs for elected officials to get down to business.
Yeah.
And get down, as we used to say in the country, get down to brass tacks.
Yeah. Do the work for the people.
That's right. And goodness knows, the place here sure needs it. I can tell you that.
Yep.
Matt, I want to thank you for coming up tonight. I appreciate it always so
no
much.
Problem. I know we got a couple more minutes.
Yeah,
Can I give a couple of things out here real
fast? No, go right
fast?
ahead, please. We got time.
Just real quick, I know we were talking about the elections earlier. Rutherford County Democratic Party, we are going to be doing a phone bank for Afton Bain.
Afton? Yes.
There was a big election last Tuesday. Democrats won all over the place. We need to make sure that Afton Bain wins in Congressional District 7 in that special election that's going on. Election day is December 2nd. We will be hosting a phone bank on November 24th as part of the Get Out the Vote for that activity.
Sure. And I've had Afton here already. And, of course, we can't vote for her.
That's
but
correct.
We can support her.
But we can support her. Yep. And if
and
anyone
she needs
else...
it.
If anyone else is interested, you can phone bank or go knock doors in that district. Just go to her website, Afton. I think it's Afton Bain for Congress. You could just Google Afton Bain. You'll find it.
BEHN.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's a good gal.
Yeah, we need to make sure she wins.
Yeah, and make sure, and she can win this thing.
Yep.
She can do it.
Absolutely.
And back to what we've talked about. We got, like I said, we got a couple minutes left. The thing, Matt. Everything in government is not put in place to produce a profit.
No, absolutely.
And I think we're at that point
agree
here
with you more.
in Rutherford County where sometimes it takes funds from Washington, D.C., ultimately, to fund certain projects with these governments in order to keep up. No one hung a sign or a placard out here saying, "Come to Rutherford County, greatest county in the world." That they just, I don't know. Everyone, well, you're here.
Yeah.
You and Tiffany came here. I mean, people are coming here, and they're not going to stop. And we're at almost 400,000 people now.
400,000.
400,000
That's right.
people. I can remember when Nashville was at probably 600,000, and that was considered a major city. No, and now we're still.
I agree with you. Yeah, it's absolutely true.
And it was, and my father-in-law always said, Nashville is nothing more than an overgrown country town. Well, that's about what Murfreesboro is,
Yeah.
And you want to keep that small town feel and all that stuff, but sometimes you have to operate in a bigger city way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you don't have time for nitpicking,
Nope.
And folks, I'm telling you, if you're listening and you're on the board of education, or if you're on the county commission, allocate some money to give the kids some free lunch. Could you do that? Will you speak up, And so you don't have, and I understand, well, that ain't going to go anywhere anyway. I never have bought that, It starts with just one person. It can start like that. One person, it seems like so-and-so said something about that free lunch thing. Maybe we'll take a look at that. Because their child finally came to them, or a niece or a nephew came to them and said, this thing is killing us. And, we got to do all this and do that. Just because aunt and uncle are doing good, don't mean that niece and nephew are raking it in either.
That's right.
Because, I'm sorry to say, Republicans don't share their wealth. They don't. They just don't do it.
Just look at the bill they passed this past summer.
You are on your own.
That bill this past summer, the big beautiful bill, was the largest transfer of wealth in American history, and it went from the bottom to the top.
Right.
Right.
Sure.
Our priorities are out of whack.
Totally out of whack. My best to your wonderful wife, Tiffany. She's a good gal on her own.
I appreciate
right.
that.
I'm telling
Thanks.
you. No,
I'll let her know.
I got to know her before did you.
Yeah.
And it's just she's a hard worker and a wonderful person. All of our people and all of you, the work you're doing. Please, Matt, keep doing it.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Well, I'm going to start bringing some candidates up here next time, so you get to meet some more people.
Oh man, you're gonna ruin me, man. You know that. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We thank you for listening. You're listening on podcast, or you're listening later in the week. Thank you. We appreciate you. You can reach me on my personal line, 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or you can send me a text. I don't mind. And all of you that support us and listen, thank you very much. Our sponsors that do that, remember, Jay Mullins, and Connor's going to play their ad here in just a second. They are moving, and as of Tuesday, we've got to do them a new ad. They will be at 1640 Memorial, and that's in the shopping center. They'll be right behind where the McAllister's is, in that shopping center area. You'll find them. Their place was bought out by another company, and they worked it out with them. So no one's been evicted or anything like that. It's all been, been agreeable and worked out to the betterment of everyone. For myself, the Edwin Lee Raymer Show, Matt, thank you, and Rutherford County Democrat Party, thank you. Connor, thank you, and WGNS. I'll tell you what, till next Sunday night at 8 o'clock, I'll catch you down the road. Good night. Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.